Thank you for tuning in to Current Discussions. I'm your host, Brother Ben Ra. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I truly appreciate it. You know, Valentine's Day is approaching, and with it coming upon us, I just wanted to do just a little quick review of Saint Valentine to let you know that Saint Valentine, by no way, this is not connected with anything African.
My people, say, my people, my people.
Thank you for tuning in. What's happening? This is Brother Ben Ra. I hope everybody is doing great this evening. Thank you for tuning in and deciding to, give me some of your time tonight on this nice cold night. What's going on, everybody out in Charlotte, everybody out in Virginia, everybody out in New York, wherever you listening at, what's happening? This is Current Discussions. Tonight, we're going to talk just a little bit about Saint Valentine. I'm not going to get into too much deep detail. If you want the information that I'm getting this from is from Wikipedia. So if anybody wants to get into a little bit more detailed information, you can look up Wikipedia. You could also look up the History Channel. All right. They have a website. You can check out the History Channel. All right. A lot of information, right, that you can get from this. Also, you can look up a site called The Conversation. Right. There's some information also here about early origins of Saint Valentine. Right. I want to give a shout out to everybody out there once again who's listening. Thank you for supporting Current Discussions. If you want to get at me, if you got any kind of shout outs, if you got any kind of concerns, if you got any kind of question, you could get at me at truevisionradio@yahoo.com. That's truevisionradio@yahoo.com. Now, how do you spell True Vision? It is TRU. Not TRUE, not that. It's TRU, True Vision Radio @yahoo.com. I also want to give a shout out to MC Percy P. We actually did the interview, right? We did the interview. This is crazy. We did the interview. We was like on the phone for about an hour, all right? And we did the interview, but I thought I was recording the interview, but apparently I wasn't. So we have rescheduled the interview, and shout out to Percy. You know what I mean? We was kind of cracking on it. You know what I'm saying? But he's a very important figure in hip hop, and I think he deserves to have a really clear interview so people can have a very good understanding of his contributions to the culture of hip hop. Okay, we'll be right back and we'll get into Saint Valentine. What's up, y'all? This is Brother Ben Ra. Okay, we're going to get into St. Valentine. We're going to get into it. The early origins of St. Valentine, right? Now, ancient sources reveal that there were several St. Valentines who died on February 14th. Two of them were executed during the reign of Roman Emperor Claudius Gothicus, okay, in 269 through 270 AD. At a time when persecution of Christians was common. Okay. Now, it says, how do we know this? Because an order of Belgian monk spent 3 centuries collecting evidence for the lives of saints from manuscript archives around the known world. They were called Balandists after Jean Baland, a scholar who began publishing the massive 68 folio volumes of Attica Sanctorum, or Lives of the Saints, beginning in 1643. This is pretty interesting. So now, so far, what do we know? We know that there were several St. Valentines who died on February 14th, and 2 of them was executed during a reign of a man by the name of Claudius Gothicus, right? Now, you have these Balandists named after a man called Jean Baland, who was a scholar, who did this research. And they did this research for a very, very long time. Okay. This is, I don't know what you've been told, but it's pretty interesting. We're going to get into it. The volume encompassing February 14th contains the stories of a handful of Valentini, including the earliest 3 of whom died in the 3rd century. The earliest Valentinius is said to have died in Africa along with 24 soldiers. Unfortunately, even the Balandists could not find any more information about him. As the monks knew, sometimes all that the saints left behind was a name and a day of death. Okay, so now what we hear is that there were Valentinius, which is said to have died in Africa, along with 24 soldiers. Now, this is these particular Valentinists were not the source of the Valentine's Day that people know of and celebrate, right? So let's just make that clear. We know only a little more about the other 2 Valentinians, right? So let's get into that. According to the late medieval legend reprinted in the Acta, which was accompanied by Balandist critique about its historical value, a Roman priest named Valentinius was arrested during the reign of Emperor Gothicus, and I believe that's Gothicus the First, and put into the custody of an aristocrat named Asterius. As the story goes, Asterius made the mistake of letting the preacher talk. Father Valentinius went on and on about Christian leading pagans out of the shadow of darkness and into the light of truth and salvation. So what did he do? He started talking to the man Asterius and telling him pretty much stories, or he went on and on about the Christians leading pagans out of the shadow of darkness and into the light of truth and salvation. Right? He started preaching to him. Asterius made a bargain with Valentinius. If the Christian could cure Asterius's foster daughter of blindness, he would convert. He meaning Asterius. Okay, he would convert to becoming a Christian and follow Christianity. Valentinius put his hands over the girl's eyes. Right? He chanted, "Lord Jesus Christ, enlighten your handmaid, because you are God in the true light." And as easy as that, the child could see, according to the medieval legend. Asterius and his whole family were baptized. So now from that point, Asterius and his entire family was baptized after that. Okay, according to the medieval legend. Okay, unfortunately, when Emperor Gothicus heard the news, he ordered them all to be executed. But Valentinus was the only one to be beheaded. Okay, a pious widow, though, made off with his body and had it buried at a site of his martyrdom on the Via Flaminia, the ancient highway stretching from Rome to present-day Rimini. Later, a chapel was built over the saint's remains. Okay, so basically, he cured my man's daughter of blindness. Okay, once he did that, my man went and got his whole family transferred over to Christianity, according to the medieval legend. And then the Emperor Gothicus, he heard this news and he was pissed. All right. And according to this medieval legend, he ordered all of them to be executed. But Mr. Valentinus was the only one to be beheaded. Now, once he was beheaded, what have you, it was a mysterious widow, according to the legend, who found his body and had it buried at a site. And this particular site's name is at a place called Via Flaminia. Okay, so if you go ahead and you check out Wikipedia, it pretty much tells you the very same thing when you read the story about St. Valentine. It says St. Valentine of Rome was a priest in Rome who ministered to Christians who were persecuted there. He was martyred and buried at a Christian cemetery on the Via Flaminia, close to the Point Milvio, to the north of Rome, on February 14th, which has been observed as the feast of St. Valentine, which is Valentine's Day, since the year 496 AD. So that's Wikipedia. So that pretty much equals out to that. So we know a little bit so far about that, right? The name Valentine derived from valens, which means worthy, strong, and powerful, and was popular in those late antiquity days. About 11 other saints having the same name, Valentine, are commemorated in the Roman Catholic Church. Some Eastern churches of the West Rite may provide still other different lists of Saint Valentines. The Roman Martyrology lists only 7 who died on days other than February 14th. Okay. A priest from Vertebro died on November 3rd. A bishop from Rhaetia, who died 470 on January 7th, in the year 470. A 5th century priest and hermit died July 4th. A Spanish hermit who died in about 715, which is the year 715, on October 25th. And Valentine Barrio Ochia, martyred in 1861, November 24th. And Valentine Juanzares Gomez, martyred in 1936, September 18th. It also lists a virgin, Saint Valentina, who was martyred in the year 308 on July 25th. Right? Pretty interesting. She was from Palestine. So you got a lot going on here as far as Valentine's Day. First of all, you have several people named Valentine. I bet you a lot of people didn't know that. I know I didn't know that at all. Now, St. Valentine's Day. St. Valentine of Rome was martyred on February 14th, AD, 269. The feast of St. Valentine, also known as St. Valentine's Day, was established by Pope Gelasius I in 496 AD to be celebrated on February 14th in honor of the Christian martyr. So we talked about Pope Gelasius, and in the year 496 AD, Valentine's Day was established, and it was to be celebrated on February 14th in honor of this Christian martyr. I think this is very interesting to learn, because when you realize there are certain things, that, I heard somebody tell me that this was an African tradition of Valentine's Day. So we should be able to celebrate it. Right. And I just read to you that this is actually from Rome. And this really had nothing to do with anybody that was African. But we did read that there was a person named Valentinus, or I believe Valentinus, who was in Africa, who had died. But this had nothing to do with the Valentine that we speak about in Rome, in which Gelasius actually created a holiday for his death. So let's get that straight. Now, let's check this out. On February 14th, around the year 278 AD, Valentine, a holy priest in Rome, in the days of Emperor Claudius II, was executed. It says, under the rule of Claudius the Cruel, Rome was involved in many unpopular and bloody campaigns. The emperor had to maintain a strong army, but was having a difficult time getting soldiers to join his military leagues. Now, we read about one Valentine. Now, I'm assuming we're reading about another now. And this is on February 14th, 278 AD. Valentine, the holy priest in Rome. Under the rule of Claudius the Cruel, they called him, Rome was involved in many unpopular and bloody campaigns. The emperor had to maintain a strong army, but was having a difficult time getting soldiers to join his military leagues. Claudius believed that Roman men were unwilling to join the army because of their strong attachment to their wives and families. To get rid of the problem, Claudius banned all marriages and engagements in Rome. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. Now check that out. Now, once he was found out about, when Valentine's actions were discovered, once he was found out about, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Valentine was arrested and dragged before before Rome, before the entire Roman community, who condemned him, right, to be beaten to death with clubs and to have his head cut off. So there was a group called the Perfect of Rome who condemned him to be beaten to death with clubs and to have his head cut off. The sentence was carried out on February 14th, on or about the year 270. Legend also has it that while in jail, St. Valentine left a farewell note for the jailer's daughter, who had become his friend, and signed it, "From your Valentine." That's what he put. For his great service, Valentine was named a saint after his death. I wonder why they want to make you a saint and everything after they kill you. You notice that? It's just like what they do to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and whatnot. Now that they're dead, everybody's, taking their quotes and, they were these great people and, he was so heavy. They were some heavy dudes. But when they were here, what was the issue? What was the problem? For his great service, Valentine was named a saint after his death. In truth, the exact origins and identity of Saint Valentine are unclear. According to the Catholic Encyclopedia, at least 3 different Saint Valentines, all are of martyrs. All of them, which are martyrs, are mentioned in the early martyrologies under the date of February 14th. One was a priest in Rome, and the second was a bishop of Interamna, now a place called Terni in Italy. And the third, St. Valentine, was a martyr in the Roman province of Africa. Pretty interesting here. So the next time you get that candy, next time you get that heart, just remember that none of this had nothing to do with love. This had nothing to do with a heart. This had nothing to do with chocolate. All of that stuff came about later on. And from what I understand, one of the St. Valentines, the heart thing came about because, they were cutting out hearts and giving it to people. Okay. Or giving it to a person in particular. And that's how the whole heart thing came about. And as time went on, they just transformed it from the heart into, the chocolate candies, Hershey, and they all came along years and years and years later and just changed it into something else. It was already adopted by the Christians, years and years ago, prior to, Hershey and all these other companies coming along. So really, it was just incorporated into the Christian way to have a specific day to celebrate based on this story, a legendary story of Saint Valentine's, in which we know that there were several Valentines. Okay. And all of them had a different situation. Just wanted to drop a little information on that. And when we come back, we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the money that is made on Valentine's Day, right? All that money that's made. We'll be right back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Current discussions. How much money is made on Valentine's Day, man? Do you know? I mean, flowers, candy, teddy bears, all these things, right? Is Valentine's Day a moneymaker? The commercialization of Valentine's Day, does it make plenty of money? Check this out. Total spending for the holiday is expected to top $18.2 billion, according to the National Retail Federation. That's an average of $136.57 per person. Can you imagine that? Valentine's Day can actually pull in $18.2 billion. That means that they are expecting pretty much that the average that a person will spend is somewhere around the range of $136.57. Just over half of Americans, 54%, are expected to celebrate the holiday this year. Jewelry is the most popular Valentine's Day gift. 20% of consumers are expected to buy jewelry, spending a total of $4.3 billion. Loved ones are also expected to spend $2 billion on flowers, according to the NRF. The most popular Valentine's Day flowers are naturally roses. 250 million roses are produced for the holiday. The Society of American Florists said. Don't forget chocolate. Also, you can't forget that. The chocolate candy. How you going to forget that? Right? 1.7 billion is spent on candy alone, according to the NRF. That's amazing, man. I mean, that is crazy. But listen, nothing can replace love letters, right? Hopefully we didn't forget about that. Couples will exchange 190 million greeting cards during Valentine's Day, according to the NRF. Americans are expected to spend $1 billion on cards, according to the Greeting Cards Association. That's a lot of money, fam. Hey, listen, if you want to spend money, how about this? If you want to spend some money, how about this? Why don't you spend some money? Why don't you spend some money on Umar Johnson? Umar Johnson, he has a school that he's putting together, right? Matter of fact, he already has the school. He already bought the building. Why don't you guys this year take some of that Valentine's Day money and give it to that brother to help him get these renovations and everything done for his school? How about that? I mean, if we can give millions and millions of dollars to these companies for candy and cards and things of that nature, why don't you turn around and do something different and give that money to brother Umar Johnson? I believe it's called the Frederick Douglass Academy, right? Why don't you give that to Umar Johnson? Go on his Facebook page, find out how you can contribute, and give some of that Valentine's Day money to help develop the Frederick Douglass Academy. If you want to know a little bit more about it, you could come to my Facebook page, my group page. All right. It's called the Current Discussions Podcast group page. Come to that group and you can check it out there, or you could go to Brother Dr. Umar's page. Go to his page on Facebook and you can check it out. I mean, the curriculum that he has set up for this is going to be absolutely stunning, and it's going to change the direction It's going to change the minds of our young brothers and sisters. Why don't we support that? You get what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out once again to Brother Percy P. Once again, I want everybody to stay tuned for Percy P. He will be on Current Discussions. And when that interview is ready and loaded, I'm going to make sure I advertise. I want everybody to tune in, if you can, and listen to, the career of Brother Percy P. He's absolutely terrific. I have some more interviews coming up. I'm definitely going to get with Miss Johnson. I know I was supposed to have gotten with you, but I have been really, really working hard on other things. But I will get to you, I promise. And I have a few other people I have to get to as well. My next interview I'm going to have Joy Cook. I'm going to have the Queen Joy Cook out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to talk to her about her skating event that's coming up February 27th. I want everybody to attend it. I want everybody to be there, support Joy Cook and what she's doing. If you don't know about Joy Cook, she has an organization called Support Her Boots. And Her Boots is an organization that supports veterans and their families, specifically female veterans. So make sure you check out Joy Cook. You go to her Facebook page, check her out on Facebook. She's doing great things, and I want everybody to support what she's trying to do. Okay? And I want everybody to support Brother Marifi. He had a history class that I had went to at the college over there in downtown Charlotte. And CPCC, and very interesting. You got to support this brother. That brother is doing big things as far as history. He knows a lot. He can definitely wake you up and enlighten you and make you feel proud to be a black man and make you feel proud to be a black woman. Absolutely. The brother's very bright, and we need to make sure we support that brother. So if anybody living in Charlotte, or if you're coming to Charlotte, make sure you get a chance to look up Brother Marifi's history courses. I believe it's every Monday at CPCC. I believe it's every Monday or every Wednesday. I could be mistaken, but check it out and support that brother. Absolutely. I gotta go. Okay. This is Brother Ben Ra. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. I truly appreciate it. And like I said, if you have a critique, or if you have a compliment, or if you want to give a shout out, you can reach me at truevisionradio@yahoo.com. That is truevisionradio@yahoo.com. And that is TRU. That's how you spell true, not TRUE. TRU. truevisionradio@yahoo.com. Special shout out to everybody who's listening to me in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. If you're in Virginia, thank you for listening. Those out in NYC, thank you for listening. Florida, thank you for listening. I truly appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. And we'll be back. Percy P is next. We'll be back with a Percy P interview. I promise you. We're going to definitely do it. All right. Once again, this is Brother Ben Rod. Thank you for listening. And make sure, if you want more information on St. Valentine, if you want to look into it a little bit more, all you got to do is go to wikipedia.com, or you could go to thehistorychannel.com and just put in, St. Valentine's Day, or who was St. Valentine. All right. And you could get a little bit more information on that. Just know, knowing is half the battle, right? Peace.